Hey friends, and welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. Cold front or not, the savings are in season. The fall sale's now on at Specs. And the fun starts here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Caden Schwartner said 9 words on the show. What was your favorite part of the program?
Max Wright. Always Max Wright when he comes on. Every single time.
You do recognize that the owner of the company did an extended segment, which got us in trouble with certain people because we went over roadblocks, right? We went over commercial breaks. And you're going to say Max Wright, which, by the way, was probably my favorite part, too. But you're going to say that. I'm just going to make sure you're saying that.
I was sitting through the segment excited to hear from Max Wright.
All right. Nick, what was your favorite part of the program?
Oh, the film guy.
Yeah, film guy was great. What else made the rewind?
Peter Burns and Billy Liucci.
Peter Burns and Billy Liucci. I don't know, I did a Johnny 2 times there, but anyway, check it out.
I agree and disagree. I heard y'all this morning. It does matter because what's happening, so it's one of two things, and one of them doesn't matter as much. If it's Mac Rhodes and Heather Dinich, who's not on the committee, but I'm tired of listening to her too. I'm sorry. I know you can't say that kind of stuff in the sports world because everybody has her on their shows and everybody likes her. I'm tired of listening to her. So nothing against her personally. I just don't like listening to her BS. These explanations that don't make a lot of sense. I'm sure she could sit there and talk this stuff in such a way that she would out-talk us three because we're not studying it every week. But when you have to dive into the specifics of the teams you know about, I think it falls really flat and it seems laughable. And I think other fan bases would probably feel the same. She's talking about their school and their program. So couple things that are really irking me these days is the love fest with Tech. So they want to talk about A&M's schedule to try to knock A&M from 2 to 3. But I haven't heard one negative thing, not one, nothing, zip, zero, nada about Texas Tech's schedule. Nothing. I don't care that they're in a conference. Go look at who they played in the non-conference. It's an absolute joke. Look what everyone else in the country is playing from now till the end of the season and look at them. Look at Alabama. Look at Georgia. Look at Texas. Look at Oklahoma. Look at even Ohio State draws Michigan. Look around the country at every team we're talking about here. Look at A&M. It's an absolute joke that no one will bring that up. And then going back to what you said about the Indiana thing, the Mandalorian, Stuart Mandel, the Mandalorian's been sitting there for years. I saw him say something positive about A&M a few weeks ago. It was the first time I've heard it since 2020.
Great question. That's a lot to cover.
I'm just saying, the vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Vibes. Yeah, the vibes are great. It's been really fun. Obviously, it's the first time that our team's been 9-0 since '92, and obviously, I never got to experience a 9-0 start, and it's a feeling that's exciting, and I know that locker room is pumped up for the opportunity. Looking at the rest of the schedule to finish out strong. I think the vibes right now, for me personally, are I'm kind of glad that they're kind of keeping us where we're at in the rankings. I think it's given the team a little bit of motivation and kind of keeping them hungry to continue to prove the nation wrong. I was honestly hoping that we didn't get bumped to that number 2 spot. I want our guys to be out there with a chip on their shoulder, and I know that the leaders in that locker room right now are seeing this as disrespect. And when you have a team that feels disrespected, they're going to come out in a week like this against South Carolina and look to put a team in the ground. And that's what I want to see, from this team moving forward. They've obviously been playing great football up to this point, and I feel like we've been playing really balanced and complementary football. And these next 2 games are opportunities to, showcase, hey, we're a dominant football team who can go out and win games that we're supposed to win handily, and put ourselves in a situation to roll into that last game of the season at 11-0, and looking at first 12-0 season that I can remember in a really long time. I don't know how long it's been since we've done that, but this is a great opportunity. I know that the guys are really excited for it. I've been texting with Trey Zune and some of those guys, and they're pumped for the opportunity, and I think they're looking at it with a grinding mentality that this is just. It's just the next part of the season. You can't look at the past and what you've done and think, man, we've done all these great things to get here. We're a top 3 team. This is all, flowers and roses. Now, this game this weekend can find a way to sneak up on you. You know, South Carolina's coming off a bye. You know, it's an 11 a.m. game. Weird things happen at 11 a.m. games, and I think they need to come out hot as if this is playing against another top 25 opponent. Records don't matter. It's November. You've got to finish out this year strong. So I'm pumped up to see how we finish it out moving forward.
Yeah, so first, what tipped me off on what I thought was ultimately going to happen was Drinkowitz's post-game press conference. Like, if you listen to the clips that came out of that, he sounded like an offensive coordinator and an offensive football coach. I don't know if he still calls plays, but a guy, he doesn't anymore. A guy involved with offense, heavily involved with offense, that sounded bamboozled and beaten in a game of chess in the pressures, right? How you were getting after the quarterback. I mean, the biggest play in that football game is the strip sack that ends up in an interception fumble recovery that damn near goes for a touchdown. All of those plays, all of those pivotal plays, when you finally got them into several third and longs where Matt Zollers has to now drop back and throw the football. First of all, you played man-to-man coverage because y'all believe in your corners out there at A&M. I'm not saying you play every game in bump and run man-to-man, but when you think you can cover, you cover and you pressure the quarterback, and you pressure it really, really uniquely. You don't just throw guys at the box. You manipulate and really figure out what the offensive line structurally is doing. And every pass protection has a weak link. There is something in there that we can attack. Whether we got 3 guys sliding this way and 2 guys sliding this way, and now the vulnerability of the protections down the middle. Well, if that is the case, A&M throws multiple bodies at the vulnerability every single time when they pressure. It got to a point I'm watching, I'm like, dude, I know Elko's like a lifetime defensive guy, but this dude must have spent some time coaching offensive line or something, because he clearly has protections down to a T. He knows what their principles are. Nope, he's a lifer on defense. Hell, he played DB at Penn. Not to body shape. I was surprised to find out Mike Elko was a DB in college. But I was more surprised to know how this is the only defensive coordinator I've watched recently that's like clearly hunting the principles of each given pass protection. I was blown away.
I mean, I don't even know what I'm eating for lunch here in about 15 minutes. I sure as hell don't know what's happening in probably the most chaotic college football season we've had in a long time. And so, yeah, I mean, that would be fascinating. I mean, it would be great for me and you as we work in media to talk about it. But, yeah, there'd be chaos. And then because then you start looking at, all right, is the ACC, I mean, are they a one-bid league? I mean, we saw Texas Tech just absolutely destroy and manhandle BYU. I don't see BYU getting that much better in being able to address that. So, is the Big 12 a one-team league or bid league? What happens if Notre Dame falls to Pitt? I think that's fascinating. So, I mean, there's a distinct chance we're talking about at least, we definitely are going to get 4 in from the SEC, maybe 5, potentially 6, which is wild. But to think that we're sitting here and it's the Aggies that are undefeated, like, you and I have had these conversations for years, and how Aggies feel probably is like how I felt as an LSU fan in 2003, where you're like kind of waiting for a shoe to drop, and then at some point you just realize, like as an LSU fan, like, no, man, embrace this. This is as good as it'll ever get. No matter what happens, like right here, right now, the fact that you get over the 8-4, the fact that you're right there in the thick of it, you're going to be in the college football playoff, like embrace this as a fan, because this is as sweet as it'll ever get right now. And then you can just kind of ride the rest of it and have fun along the ride.
Talking to Peter Burns here on TexAgs Live. All right, Peter, let's talk about the way the College Football Playoff Committee had A&M at 3. And I've said this on the show, and Billy, I think, had a different point of view, but I don't really care that they're number 3. I think if they win these games the rest of the way and they win an SEC championship game, they'll be 1 or 2. That's my opinion of the situation. That being said, what they said about A&M, maybe not having the offense or the defense that Indiana had is what kind of like, well, I don't like your reasons. What did you think of the reasons?
I mean, again, I used to lose my mind over it as well, too. And then I've realized after doing it for, however many long years we've had a college football playoff, that the committee and especially the chair contradict each other every single week. And it's just like, in Charlie Brown, where the teacher, we never actually hear the voice. It's like, wah, 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 wah. Like, that's basically what I hear when the committee, like, I turn it off when they start asking about what the actual rationale behind it.
All right, we're going to close it out. I'm going to have Caden Schwartner tell the people what to do and how to avoid bronchitis. Go.
Like, comment, subscribe. Tell all your friends to watch tomorrow and the next day. Have fun at the South Carolina game. And don't breathe and you won't get bronchitis.
Then you'll suffocate. That's not good advice. We'll see you next time.